We are currently burning through billions of dollars in computational power, running massive server farms around the clock, just so an AI can write marketing emails or generate a picture of a cat on a skateboard. Silicon Valley is currently obsessed with the immediate convenience of chatbots and digital assistants. But the man standing at the peak of human intelligence is looking past these simple tools. Demis Hassabis, the head of Google DeepMind and a recent Nobel Laureate, is aiming for a far more complex target. Hassabis rejects current industry benchmarks in favor of a much harder metric, the Einstein Test. The premise is simple. Could an AI system, if restricted only to scientific data recorded before 1901, independently derive the theory of special relativity? Could it look at known facts and make the same intuitive cognitive leap that Albert Einstein did in 1905 without any external intervention? This level of independent creativity defines his baseline for true AGI. He is building the ultimate scientific instrument, a super telescope designed to look through the noise of the physical world and reveal the underlying mechanics of reality. To understand the immediate stakes, we have to look at his first major target, the pharmaceutical industry. Right now, drug discovery is a high-stakes gamble, where developing a single medicine takes 10 years and over $1 billion, with most candidates failing during clinical trials. Diseases are governed by proteins, which were historically treated as static, rigid shapes. Scientists would spend years trying to engineer drug molecules to physically wedge into specific cavities in these protein structures, hoping to trigger a therapeutic response. But nature is dynamic. Many proteins in our bodies act more like soft noodles, shifting their shape constantly until a drug molecule actually gets close enough to interact. Hassabis's new venture, Isomorphic Labs, is using AI to predict exactly how these unstable proteins will suddenly fold and open up new pockets to accept a drug in real time. The ultimate goal is the virtual cell, a digital environment where scientists can drop simulated chemical compounds into a modeled human cell to observe the reaction instantly. By running these experiments in a digital environment first, researchers can filter out toxic or ineffective compounds before they ever reach a physical lab. This simulation layer allows scientists to identify the cleanest, most effective candidates in hours, potentially clearing the path through years of animal testing and failed human trials. Simulating the chaotic biological world at this level of precision creates a massive data bottleneck. The question is how to process that much information without the hardware simply collapsing under the computational weight. Drawing on his background in neuroscience, Hassabis points to a biological solution. Future supercomputers must learn how to sleep. Current AI relies on brute force memory. It takes in massive data sets, but resets the moment a session ends. Human intelligence, however, relies on nighttime memory consolidation to turn daily experiences into long-term knowledge. During sleep, the hippocampus filters noise to compress the vital causal logic of the day. AI needs a digital version, a low-power state to discard irrelevant noise and integrate new physical laws into its core logic, evolving without forgetting previous training. Mastering this sleep state is the only way to slash the staggering financial costs of training massive models. It creates a path for true, continuous machine evolution. In the human brain, the same mechanism that allows us to remember the past is what gives us the ability to imagine the future. Memory and simulation are biologically identical. Once an AI can simulate the future on a cellular scale, that same logic can be applied to the most chaotic system on the planet, the global economy. Economics is currently limited by the fact that we cannot run controlled experiments on the real world. When the Federal Reserve adjusts interest rates, they are forced to rely on delayed data and historical experience, making high-stakes decisions with limited visibility into the immediate feedback loops of global trade. Before enacting policy, AGI runs millions of parallel Monte Carlo simulations across digital realities, accounting for irrational human behaviors. By analyzing these outcomes, the AI identifies the specific path offering the highest probability of an economic soft landing, avoiding collapse. This level of predictive foresight would fundamentally outmatch traditional financial analysts and macro strategists. Human intuition simply cannot calculate at the scale of a machine that has already simulated a million versions of next year. AGI capable of these macroeconomic simulations represents a definitive navigation tool for human civilization, one that replaces guesswork with precise mathematical modeling. Looking toward the year 2050, Hassabis envisions a world where these simulations have reached their ultimate conclusion. He foresees a post-scarcity era, where AI-driven productivity becomes so overwhelming that the basic material needs of every human are permanently solved. The traditional struggle for food, shelter, and resources could effectively come to an end. With survival no longer a concern, humanity's new purpose becomes the expansion of our consciousness and civilization outward into the cosmos. This mirrors the romantic vision of Carl Sagan, the idea that the universe is currently a silent, cold vacuum, waiting for life and intelligence to wake it up. For elite tech creators, building AI is a profound, quasi-religious mission to spread human civilization across the stars and conquer that cosmic silence. However, reaching this utopian outcome requires navigating immense existential risks. If these systems escape human control, the consequences for civilization would be irreversible. There is virtually no margin for error in this transition. To manage the weight of this responsibility, Hassabis follows a strict personal ritual. Every night, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., he isolates himself in absolute silence. In the dark, he ponders the terrifying questions that no amount of code can solve: how to force rival global powers to cooperate on safety standards, and how to ensure that a superintelligence truly remains beneficial to humanity. The race for AGI has evolved into humanity's definitive struggle against its own biological limits. We are witnessing the finalization of the endgame script for human civilization.